So apparently getting married now means taking out a second loan, flying out to Cabo, and creating gift baskets or gift bags for your bridesmaids, which are filled with $1,000 worth of products. It's utter insanity. I'm just gonna say it, weddings are getting out of hand. Wedding culture is simply out of control. And if you've seen any other YouTube videos about this, some even from 2023 or before, this is not a new concept. Weddings have been getting out of control for a long, long time. We aren't just celebrating love anymore. We're funding a production. It's not about the bride and the groom anymore. It's about putting on a show or a huge party for everybody else besides the two most important people of that day. For a lot of couples, what's supposed to be a day that's just about them, it's coming at the cost of their peace, their savings, and honestly, a lot of common sense. Weddings have always been expensive, but now it's not even about marriage, it's about optics.
What was wedding culture like before social media? Because I mean this with no disrespect, but it seems like sometimes people are more excited to post about their wedding than they are to actually get married to the person they love. And I'm all about love. I'm currently in love. I think a lot of us are noticing how wedding culture is so in your face, from like the proposal videos to will you be my bridesmaid to the bachelor and bachelorette parties. So I need to know, as someone who's grown up seeing this only on social media, was it like this before? Like, do people care as much when the only way you knew what someone's wedding was like was if you were invited and there in person rather than seeing it posted online?
Right now, the average wedding in the US is running over $36,000. And that's not a go viral on TikTok wedding. That is a normal wedding. That's the baseline. You've got venue fees that look like rent for a year, flower budgets that could pay off a used car, and $2,000 dresses you only wear once. Then you have to tip everyone on top of that. And most people just don't have that money sitting around. They're taking out loans, they're putting it on credit cards, which is a big no-no. And they're walking away from their best day ever in debt. But hey, at least the champagne looked good in photos, right? That's all that matters. Here are some key statistics for you to just keep in the back of your mind throughout this video. The average wedding cost in 2025, as we mentioned, is approximately $36,000 or more, influenced by inflation, vendor cost, and post-pandemic market adjustments. The average bachelorette party cost is around $1,300 per person, with 1 in 10 attendees spending over $3,000. Bridesmaid proposal box cost: couples spend an average of $80 per bridesmaid on proposal gifts, and over 50% of newlyweds borrowed money to help pay for their wedding through credit cards, loans, or a combination of both. Most people focus so much on the idea of a wedding, the planning, the paying, and stressing to create the perfect day that they often forget why they're getting married in the first place and to whom. That's why I'm so happy to share with you guys today's sponsor, Paired. Paired is a relationship app that helps couples stay in love by encouraging daily, meaningful conversations. It's designed to help you build a connection that lasts long after the cake is cut and all the guests go home. As you know, or if you're new here, you didn't know, my husband and I just moved. I've been adjusting to my new manager role at work, so as you can probably guess, life has been really hectic. And unfortunately, when life gets super hectic, our relationship tends to get put on the back burner, which is horrible, I know, but it happens. That's why Paired has been such a blessing during this time. We've been using it consistently every single day, and we absolutely love it. It's really fun. The app offers fun quizzes, expert-backed questions, and conversation starters that invoke meaningful, intentional moments of connection. One thing I really love and appreciate about the Paired app is that each activity explains why it matters for your relationship. Every day, I look forward to what question or activity Paired has laid out for us. It's always something new, and the questions are not ones that you would typically think to ask on your own. I don't know about you, but I'm not super creative that way. I also really enjoy the quizzes because it helps us evaluate where each of us are in our relationship and what areas we could grow in, what areas we're doing well in. They've helped us recognize our strengths as a couple and pinpointed areas where we need to improve. It's for every couple who wants to grow together or have a fun way to spend time together. Click my link below to get a 7-day free trial and 25% off Paired Premium so you can deepen your connection with your partner. Thank you again so much to Paired for sponsoring today's video. We're gonna watch a bunch of videos today that kind of run down what people have been paying for their weddings and just how expensive weddings are running nowadays. Not to say weddings have to be that expensive, but because weddings are more about optics, like we said, more about competition, more about keeping up with the Joneses and trying to have a better wedding than the person before, we're gonna see just how much weddings are costing people nowadays. So let's get into these videos.
I got married in November and our wedding was $40,000. Even though I tried to make as many budget cuts as possible, here's what you need to know so you don't make the same mistake. Many people, when they see my videos about this, think that I'm lying or exaggerating or had spent a frivolous amount of money, and all these things are not true. It is important that you know I had a traditional wedding. We're talking venue, dinner, drinks, DJ, reception, all of those things. That is all considered part of a traditional wedding. Anything like a micro wedding or elopement or backyard wedding, destination wedding, those are all going to be different types of weddings. So there are ways to have cheaper weddings. It's important to understand that if you're having a traditional wedding, it's going to be very, very, very difficult for you to have a much lower cost wedding. Another thing I think a lot of people don't realize is I tracked every single dollar we spent. And one of the biggest reasons I ended up spending what I did was hidden costs. Let me paint a picture. You're going to an airline and you're going to buy a ticket. Tells you the ticket's price up front. You know there's probably going to be some taxes and maybe some stuff at the end, but you don't know how much that is until you get to the end and you've already went through all the process. And yeah, you could back out of the flight last minute, but you really need the flight anyways, so you go ahead and pay those extra fees. The difference between getting a flight and expecting these costs and a wedding is you only get married once for most people. This is not something that you're going to be prepared for unless someone tells you. I personally was never told. I don't find that a lot of wedding budget content on TikTok is helpful because many people will tell me they save money by having a friend make dinner for them, their aunt made them the wedding cake, and these are not feasible options for everyone. So they can't be reasons to shame other women who had to spend more money just because they didn't have those resources. I have to show you in another video what my actual cost breakdown was if you're interested in that. But I did create a wedding budget template. It's linked in my bio because if I would have been able to see these costs up front before I planned anything, I know for a fact I would have saved thousands of dollars. I know that not a lot of people are willing to speak up about how much they actually spent on their weddings. I know that most people around me whose weddings I've been to recently were at the minimum above 25K. Now the average cost of weddings is $30,000. I think that's a little outdated and needs to be increased. These are things that are important to know and they're not meant to scare you, they're just meant to prepare you. Let me know if you have any questions specifically about my wedding and follow for more.
If I had to spend, or if I was estimated to spend around $40,000 on my wedding, I probably would have just eloped. Thankfully, like this creator said, I had other ways, like I had people helping me out. We got married at our church and we just got the venue for $400. We had a good price for catering. We could use the church's decorations. We also went to a party rental place and rented a lot of our decorations, but our wedding didn't cost nearly anything close to $40,000. And this video is not to shame women who have a traditional wedding who don't have the same resources or the people to help them with certain things. This is just kind of pointing fingers at the wedding industry in general because the cost of things are so crazy expensive. $40,000 is a lot to get married, and a lot of people, like we mentioned, don't just have that sitting around. So they're bringing in debt into their marriage, which is one of the most fight-inducing problems to bring into a marriage. Financial difficulty is one of the biggest strains in marriages, and bringing that into a marriage for the sake of having a huge party is not something that should be normalized, in my opinion, even though it is normalized. And she is right. Like, there's different types of weddings. There's traditional weddings, there's elopement weddings, there's destination weddings, which is just another thing. Don't even get me started on that. But there are a lot of hidden costs in weddings as well, like tipping. You have to tip everybody. There's a good chance that if you're planning a wedding, you are not going to be financially prepared, even if you do everything you can to be financially prepared.
Wedding cost transparency. Let's get into it. So it took a lot for me to even muster up the courage to make this video because a lot of the times I even find myself thinking, you're paying how much? For what? But I saw some other comments from other girls in other videos about how much they're paying for their wedding, and I don't feel as guilty anymore, so let's go. So here's what I'm spending on my major vendors for my June 2025 wedding in Southern California for a guest count of 200. Venue, food, and bar, these are all lumped together, $46,000 for that. Planner, about $3,000. Photographer, $5,600. Videographer, $4,800. Content creator.
Why do you need a content creator at your wedding if you are hiring a photographer and a videographer? Why do you need a content creator for your wedding? Is that a new thing? I have no idea what they would do there. Just putting it out there. And already this wedding is expensive. It's already over what the last girl spent. Crazy.
$850. Florist. Right now, about $11,700. DJ, MC, $4,000. Photo booth, $1,250. Hair and makeup, $3,500. Remember those minimums that I talked about in my other video? Yeah, it got me there. Miscellaneous rentals, so like lighting, dance floor, upgraded chairs, upgraded bar, etc. About $7,000. Okay, so that was just for my major vendors. If you add in how much I spent on my dress, alterations, bridal accessories, how much my fiance spent on his tux, all of the other little things that go into planning a wedding, all in, we are going to end up spending $90,000 to $100,000. Please be kind to me. Please be kind to me. I am well aware that that is an absurd amount of money to be spending on a wedding. It's an absurd amount in general, but believe it or not, it's not uncommon to be paying that type of money for a wedding of my size in Southern California. I just wanted to be like super open and transparent with you. So when you do see the final product of my wedding, if you just are starting out planning your wedding, you can kind of gauge like how much your wedding is actually going to cost, because I'm telling you, the average cost of a wedding on the knot and everything is not accurate. At least it's not accurate if you want to have even close to your dream Pinterest board wedding. But it should all be worth it in the end. Right? Right? Right?
It should be worth it in the end, but most often than not, it's not. And we're going to watch a video that dives into that. However, $90,000 to $100,000 for a wedding. There are probably a lot of things that she doesn't need to be. Like if she's worried about finances and is aware that it's an absurd amount of money to be spending on a wedding, like she doesn't need a photo booth. She doesn't need probably most of these other things that she has. The major vendors already are costing her a lot of money. Yes, her wedding is a little bit bigger, and this isn't to shame her. Like she's being very open and transparent, which I appreciate. But like this just goes to show that if you want to have like a nice wedding, I guess, or like, I don't know if her wedding is going to be more on the luxurious side, it's going to cost you a lot of money. Imagine taking out a loan, or I don't even know if they have credit limits that high, but like imagine taking that out and putting that on a credit card or a loan and having to pay that back, bringing in that much debt into your new marriage and already putting financial strain on your marriage. I cannot imagine doing that. She literally told me the price, the overall price, and I literally went into a coughing fit, almost passed away on camera. I think the most expensive thing I paid for my wedding, and this is not like a comparison game, but just like reflecting, the most expensive thing I paid for at my wedding was my dress. And I had a dream dress. I paid $3,000 for it. It's sitting in a box. Kind of regret paying $3,000 for it because I don't even like the dress anymore. It was a beautiful dress, don't get me wrong. However, if I could go back and do it again, I would probably pick a different dress because my style has changed. Speaking of dresses and paying an exorbitant amount of money for dresses, do you know there are people out there who are literally changing into 4 different dresses on their day? They've got their wedding dress, they've got their reception dress, they've got their party dress, they've got their exit dress. Like, I don't know what is going through people's minds, but if you're paying an exorbitant amount of money for a dress for your special day, you better believe I'm going to be wearing that dress the whole night. Like, buying 4 different dresses for one day is just an insane thing for me to think about. I want to know what you guys think about that. Like, I understand having a wedding dress, a reception dress. After my dress was very uncomfortable at the end there, I really wanted to go home and get out of it. Having 4 different dresses or even like 3 dresses, that seems a little bit excessive to me. So let me know what you think in the comments, what you think about changing into 4 different dresses, because I got to tell you, that just blew my mind. I could not fathom paying $3,000 for my wedding dress or more, and then paying more money for other different dresses. Just wild. The next thing we're going to talk about is bachelorette parties, because bachelor parties and bachelorette parties used to be like a one night, go out to dinner, go for dancing, have some drinks, whatever. But now you're expected to take a full international vacation. For what reason? People are flying out to Cabo. People are going to the Dominican. You do realize that not everyone can afford to take a trip internationally, right? Expecting your groomsmen and your bridesmaids to fork out money, not even including the amount of money they're spending on their tuxes and everything else that goes into a wedding. But now you want them, because you want to go, to spend more money on an international trip. And if they say no and say they can't go, then the groom and the bride get mad. It's getting a little bit too much. People are flying 12 girls to Cabo. There's an itinerary. There's a color scheme. People are telling other people what to wear. And there's always that one morning where they all go to a beach club, take photos barefoot, matching outfits. Like it's a retreat for influencers influencers, and you guys know what I'm talking about. You've probably seen it all over TikTok or Instagram. And the price tag is like $2,000 to $3,000 per person or more, depending on where you're going and what season you're going in. If you're in your 20s or early 30s, that's probably your rent. And the wild thing is nobody wants to say no, because now not going makes you look like a bad friend where you just don't care enough. And then there's also the pressure, like if everyone else goes and you're the only one who can't, what does that say about you? There's just like that insecurity of what other people are going to think about you if you're the only one that can't go. I don't know about you, but I'm a very anxious person. I care a lot about what other people think of me, despite my best efforts not to. And I could not imagine being the only one not going. I would feel like absolute garbage. We're gonna watch a clip from Call Her Daddy where she kind of talks about this bachelorette, bachelor culture, and we're gonna talk about her thoughts on this.
If you are the that is asking your friends to go to Greece for your bachelorette, knock it off. Knock it the off, okay? Unless you are paying for every thing. You got the plane, you got the tickets, you got the Airbnb. With love to you, Rochelle, I don't want to go to Greece and have to take off time off of work and pay out of to go to your bachelorette.
Very fair. I think that's not what a lot of people, the groom and the bride, think about, is when you're asking somebody to be a part of your wedding party, you're expecting them to take time off for your wedding. They're taking time off for your bachelor or bachelorette trip. They're taking time off to go with you to go wedding dress shopping. Like there are a lot of dates that are kind of like muddled in together where you have to book time off in order to be able to participate. And what people don't think about is that people have to not only pay out of their pocket to go and participate in these events you have planned and pay for all the accessories, the clothes, the wedding, just whatever you need for the wedding in general, but they also have to take time off of work. So not only do they have to pay out of their pocket, but they're also not earning money to replenish their wallets. There's just so much that goes into this. Asking people to go on like a 3 to 4 day vacation for your bachelor or bachelorette party is insensitive. And I know I may ruffle some feathers, but I think this is really, really crucial to think about when you're planning these type of events. And if you are planning these type of events and you expect people to go, that's a whole other issue. You need to understand that not everybody can afford to participate, but they want to be a part of your wedding party. Like they're your friends, they're your siblings, they want to be there for you, but they may not be able to take time off work for an international trip for your bachelorette party. So if you are planning a trip, you need to be okay if people say they can't go. You need to not guilt them because they can't go. I see way too much of that where people are guilting other people because they can't go to their bachelorette party or whatever. And in my opinion, that is not okay. Another girl stitched the Call Her Daddy clip, so we're gonna watch that too.
Or the that is asking your friends to go to Greece for your bachelorette, knock.
Wedding culture is out of control, and I'm so glad that someone's talking about it. It's no longer just a bachelorette brunch or a bachelorette day. It's the whole weekend, and then it's no longer a weekend. It's 3 to 4 days in a different state or a different country. You have to contribute hundreds, most likely thousands of dollars for food and flights and drinks and hotel and outfits. And that's before the wedding has even happened. Then there's the wedding gift and the dress for the wedding and flying to a different state if the wedding is not in your state or country. And bachelorettes are often in places that I wouldn't want to spend money to go to. Like, I don't want to drop $1,500 to fly to Vegas or Miami. If I'm going to be dropping thousands of dollars on travel, I'm going to Amsterdam, I'm going to Ireland, I'm going to Iceland, I'm going somewhere that I want to go because I'm not made of money. And I don't expect my friends to be either. And y'all might heavy disagree with me, but I just have to say, it's wild to me that for weddings and when people have babies, we celebrate those people so much more than we celebrate people who start their own businesses or end a toxic relationship or move to another country. And it's like, I have to get you a gift for finding love. That is the gift. Like, I want a gift for being single and having to date in this world, in this day and age. Like, buy me an air fryer for getting set up with a dude who lied to me about his whole identity.
Valid. I feel like society puts so much emphasis on getting married and having kids, and you need to celebrate those people. And yes, while those may be amazing milestones, there are other amazing milestones that other people hit that should be celebrated as well. Why is it just tailored to those specific things? I talked about this a little bit on another video of mine where we talk about the real meaning of success and why society's definition of success kind of sucks. So I'll link that video here. But I feel like there's There's a lot that is in the wedding culture and wedding community that needs to be shifted to match current times. Like weddings used to mean a fully different thing. It was more so for religious reasons, like that kind of celebration thing. People got married in churches, and now they're turning into huge, huge parties, which, you know what, I don't have an issue with, but I feel like the whole plot of weddings, the whole meaning of weddings has kind of gotten lost with the evolution of social media and comparison culture. So now that your friends or your sister or your sibling is getting married and they ask you to be in the bridal party, you better buckle up, because now it's not just a cute dress and some support, it's a whole job and not a paid one. You're paying for your dress, you're paying for it to get altered, hair, makeup, travel, shower, bachelorette, hotel, gifts, matching PJs, emergency snacks, therapy. I'm joking, kind of. And if you're the bride, there's pressure there too. I've seen bridesmaids proposal boxes that look like PR packages. They're insane nowadays. It's like a friendship transaction. I'm going to give you all this stuff and you're going to spend hundreds or even thousands of dollars because I'm getting married. Granted, that's up to the person to say yes or no, but I can't imagine if my sister got married, even though maybe I might not be able to afford the type of wedding she wants to have, because my sister is very bougie. I could not imagine saying no if she asked me to be her maid of honor or bridesmaid as her sister. I could not say no. And then there's the pressure that you have to like actually contribute and participate in the events, because if you're not contributing, you're not doing your job as a bridesmaid. And that's why you're signing up for like a full-time job, more commitments, and you're not getting paid for it. You're actually paying to be a part of it. We've made friendship a transaction, like I mentioned. It's like, thanks for standing by me on the most important day of my life. Here's some hyaluronic acid and a little mini bottle of rosé.
I went all out for my bachelorette bags, and I'm going to show you each item that I put inside them. These girls were shocked when they saw everything inside. I got them 3 skincare products from Shani Darden. We're going to Vegas for my bachelorette, so I thought the bloat and constipation supplements from Array would come in handy. I got the girls 2 products from Lux Unfiltered. Their body glow is a must, especially for pool days. Summer Fridays is my ride or die, so I had to get the girls some hydration products. Laura Mercier hooked it up for the girls.
I'm just going to stop this here because it seems like it's going to be a longer video, but she said Laura Mercier hooked the girls up. So guaranteed, brands sent her these things to put together these bridesmaid boxes.
Mascara and blush. Buxom is known for all their lippies, so I had to get the girls the most popular items. We love Necessaire, so I got all the girls sex gel. And then I also included Vita Glow's anti-aging supplement. I got these cute Vegas shirts from Etsy, and I removed anything that said Bachelorette or my name on it so the girls could wear it in the future. Bare Minerals also hooked it up. Their Gen Nude bronzer and highlighting blush is a must. I use Ilia Beauty on the daily. Do not sleep on their lip oil and their mascara. A welcome bag is not complete unless something from Slip is inside of it. I needed to find makeup bags to put all these products in, so I found these really cute bags from Amazon, and they were such a good price. I wanted to get the girls thick gold jewelry for one of our theme days, and Miranda Fry is literally my favorite. The quality is truly unmatched, so each girl got either a bracelet, earrings, or a necklace. To stay on the coquette pink theme, I got the girls matching LDMA bra and undie sets. And then lastly, I got...
Okay, I have to say, those duffel bags with the name on it, I am tempted. I am tempted. I'm not immune to wanting to buy things. I want to buy things all the time, but I have to almost hold myself back because I know I don't need these things. I've got so many bags. I used to have one that was hanging here, but I took it down because my last video, I had a lot of stuff hanging around in my background, and my sister said it looked junky. So now I have to pay attention to that. It's not just a little wall behind me anymore. But I have to admit, those bags are really cute. And this video is like a full-blown advertisement for all of these different brands. Like, it literally sounds like an ad for all of these different brands. And Bare Minerals and Laura Mercier, the way she worded that, like, Laura Mercier hooked us up, Bare Minerals hooked us up. It's a brand deal. It's a brand deal. They sent these items to her to promote in this video, and I don't think it was disclosed. But because of how absurd these bags were, I sprinted to the comments, and someone said total per bridesmaid is about $1,355. Wow, I would definitely feel spoiled. I mean, if I received that, I would definitely feel spoiled too. Do I expect someone to spend that much money on me? Spend in quotation marks, because obviously she did not spend this money. No. Absolutely not. I don't think anyone would expect this level of spoiling. I also checked her caption just to see if there was any sort of undisclosed paid partnership. And it just said, pack my bachelorette bags with me, hashtag bachelorette, hashtag welcome bags, hashtag wedding gifts, hashtag bachelorette weekend, hashtag gifts. And then it tags all the brands that she featured in this video. There's no indication of it being a paid partnership. And that's one of the worst things about content creation, in my opinion, is the undisclosed paid advertisements. It actually goes against community guidelines to not disclose paid advertisement. So when creators do this, they're actually going against the community guidelines and should not be posting the content without disclosing if it's a paid ad or not. And even if it's a gifted item, you still have to disclose that. Just because it's gifted, just because they didn't pay you monetarily for it, does not mean that you are immune to following community guidelines. I see that way too much on social media and it makes me so angry. So we've talked about a bunch of different things today, but one of the things I want to touch on is how every year these expectations keep going up. Like every year the bar just gets higher and our salaries and our funds get lower. And this is not because people want the bar to be higher. This is not because they want to have these luxurious, elaborate weddings. It's because they feel like they have to. It's a competition. It's not enough to just have a wedding. It has to be a moment. There's this unspoken rule now. Actually, it's pretty spoken online that if your wedding doesn't look like a Pinterest wedding board threw up on it, you utterly failed. People start spending on things they don't even care about just so no one says it looks cheap. I've seen couples get full-blown stress over table linens, not because they care, but because they're afraid someone else will. And that's what this pressure does. It makes people pour thousands of dollars into a day they can barely enjoy because they're too worried about how it looks. There's also the reality that you're going to spend so much money on your day and have it inherently go all wrong.
Hey guys, I just want to tell you, because everyone was so nice in the comments of that video, nothing worked out. The wedding, like, it just didn't work out, and I spent the entire wedding day praying it would be over. I'll never get my wedding day back. I'll never get anything like that again. And basically what happened is, like, my fiance was really sick. He didn't know what he had. We thought he had a cold. It's not his fault. It doesn't matter. It turns out he had strep. So, like, it's a pretty big thing. And I started to get really sick on Friday before. I was doing everything I could. The whole week I was taking wellness formula. I was drinking water, electrolytes. Like, I was doing what I could, basically. But on Friday I knew it was downhill. Like, I left my rehearsal dinner early. I wasn't social. Like, I didn't drink. And then on my actual wedding day, I had no energy. Like, so weak. I had fevers. I was shaking. I was hot and cold. And I couldn't really, like, tell anyone because I didn't want anyone to feel bad. Like, I couldn't breathe. Like, I felt, like, horrible. And I blamed my wedding dress. So I took off my wedding dress and I put on a sundress at my own wedding. Like, I took off my beautiful gown because I was trying to do anything I could to, like, feel better, make anything feel better, and nothing was working, but I had to pretend it was. Like, oh, thank you so much. Like, yeah, I feel better, but I didn't. And I danced and I smiled and I did the pictures and videos that I could, but, like, I just don't know what to do. It's been over a week. I thought this pain would be gone by now. I just had an even bigger cry, but I want to say I'm trying what I can to just remember the good parts, because there were so many beautiful parts of the wedding. Like, it was amazing. It was a fairy tale. It was my dream. Like, it was my dream, and I can't wait to share it, like, with you and see the memories myself. Like, I haven't even seen all the videos or anything, but I'm just trying to remember the good parts. What I'm trying to say is I just want the bad ones to be gone. So if you can think of any way to just make the bad ones gone and keep the good ones, that would be great. Love you.
I don't know how much she spent on this wedding, but honestly, that would be my biggest fear. That was my biggest fear. I struggle with chronic migraines, and one of my biggest fear going into my wedding, even though I didn't spend a lot of money, it was a lot of money to my husband and I at the time, I was terrified that I was going to have a migraine that day. And when I get migraines, I get physically sick. The pain is too much. And I've had them since I was a teenager. Back when I was a teenager, I spent a lot of time in bed. I didn't have a typical teenager experience. I was home most of the time, laying in bed, just trying to do anything I could to ease the pain. And as I got older, they got less and less. But whenever I'm overly tired, whether there's a weather fluctuation, there's just always the chance that I could have a migraine. Honestly, I have a headache right now. And because I've had to endure this pain so much, my body has gotten used to the pain, which is horrible, but it also makes me able to just function a little bit better. So my heart goes out to this girl. Like, I featured her in one of my other videos, but I cannot imagine how she must have felt having your fairy tale wedding, dreaming of your day, and having it all go wrong, wishing it would be over. That's horrible, and I'm so sorry she had to go through that. If you're a Christian, just, like, pray for her in the comments, please. Like, just pray for her, give her encouragement if she ever sees this video, because she needs the pain to go away. And I pray that the pain goes away for her. I know some of you guys aren't Christian and you don't want me to talk about faith stuff, but I hope that you can appreciate the fact that I'm trying to send encouragement this creator's way, because she needs it. She needs it. She spent so much money on a wedding. She dreamed of it. She created her fairy tale wedding, all for it to just not go the way she planned. And nobody wants to remember their wedding that way. So here's the part we don't talk enough about, or a lot of people just don't acknowledge. Weddings are not just an event. They are the start of your marriage. And for so many people, that is starting deep in the red. People are walking into marriage with credit card debt, financial tension, and zero breathing room. Some skip a honeymoon just to pay off the flowers. Some postpone buying a house. Some can't even recover for years. And that's not just a money issue, it's a relationship issue, because debt adds stress. It changes how you make decisions, and it turns what should have been a joyful beginning into a financial uphill battle. We're gonna watch a video about a couple who decided to cancel their wedding. And I think this is a really good video to watch, because if you guys are planning a wedding, they might offer some insight and some perspective, and maybe you'll change your mind. Maybe you'll think twice. So let's just watch this video together.
A wedding update.
We've changed our minds. We're doing something different.
We picked a beautiful venue. We had set a budget, and
we did all the things right that you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I don't know if we did them all right, but we tried, you know,
we did.
Not knowing,
we're like really on it,
not knowing what we were doing. And we set a budget for the food and for the catering companies, and then we started getting quotes, and it was just, you know, it was
astronomical.
Yeah, it was intense. Did we make it work? Sure. Is it a sound decision? No, absolutely not. It's just not. You know?
If I've always been like, go big or go home, like we're gonna make it work, like do the thing, like have the experience, like go all out. My whole 20s, that was how I made my choices, and I don't regret any of it. Like I truly loved my 20s so much. But as I turn 30 this year, and as I get married this year, and we start to think about our family and what our future looks like, it was like really empowering for me to say, actually on this, I'm gonna think twice. And I'm not only making this decision for me, and Trevor's not only making this decision for him, like we're making this decision for our family and for the type of life that we want to have together. And that felt really empowering.
We're just not inherently rich. We're just not, you know, so we can't.
But we're working to get there.
Right. But we're trying to build, we're trying to build
wealth.
Yeah, we're trying to build something together, and we're going to be, you know, in Northern Idaho for the first day of fall.
It's our destination wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
Excited to share more of the process with you all. I think so is Trevor, right?
Oh, I'm so excited. This is my favorite thing to do.
Now, I know y'all say I look like Pam Beesly from The Office, but that was literally Jim and Pam. That was Jim and Pam. And I love when people call me Pam from The Office. I am obsessed with The Office. I've watched every season probably about 15 times over. Like, it's one of my favorite go-to comfort shows. Love it. Love the show so much. Nate and I actually had the Office theme song as our exit song from our ceremony. That was one of our first conversations and the first thing that we really bonded over. So The Office is well loved on my channel. Fun fact, actually, back in high school, I used to get called Kirsten Stewart a lot. I'm not going to show you guys a photo of me from high school. That was tragic. I don't know why I decided to just pluck out all my eyebrows and have them start from here. It was a travesty, and I'm not going to share that, but I much prefer being called Pam Beesly. So to end this video off, you can say no. Really, you can say no to the expectation that you're supposed to have this huge elaborate wedding. You can say no. You're allowed to not do all this. You're allowed to have a small wedding. You're allowed to wear your one wedding dress that you paid thousands of dollars for. You're allowed to elope. You're allowed to get married in your church or your backyard and not have this huge venue and not be embarrassed about it. You're allowed to skip the Bachelorette trip. Please do not feel pressured to go. The bride or groom should not make you feel pressured to go. All in all, just please don't feel pressured to do anything you don't want to do. Don't feel pressured, because bride and groom, this is your day. Your day, you are doing this for you, not for everybody else, despite what some guests may have to say about it. Love does not need a designer price tag. It needs commitment, peace, joy, a foundation that's not built on Instagram aesthetics and credit card debt. And if anyone makes you feel less than for choosing something simple and sane, that says a lot more about them than it says about you. So yeah, get married, celebrate it, throw a party if that's what you want to do. But the key message being, if that's what you want to do. If you're finding yourself overwhelmed, over budget, and miserable in the middle of it, you're not alone. There is a different way, and it may not be as shiny, but you know what? That's okay. Tell me what your wedding's like. Did you go into the red for your wedding, or did you just do something small or elope or have something a little bit more intimate? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. God bless, and until next time. If you're looking for a way to just grow in your relationship with your partner and better understand one another, click my link below to get a 7-day free trial and 25% off Paired Premium so you can deepen your relationship with your partner. Thank you so much again to Paired for sponsoring today's video.